This week on 31st of May, we have 3 Power Pack webinars waiting for you. At 10 a.m., we have Know Your Insurance, Hidden Clause and Terms in Health Insurance. And at 11 a.m., we have a deep dive into the SIP calculator. Simultaneously at 11 a.m., Plan, Pause and Pivot. Financial planning for non-linear life. Click on the registration link in the description to join the webinars to make your weekend a learning weekend.
What stops when a SIP stops? The SIP, which we call as a SIP, is a very simple instrument. It keeps going month after month. As you do an SIP month after month, you get comfortable with building that into a habit. Importantly, when you raise the amount you do in a SIP every year, you grow the habit. As the habit grows, your savings grow, and when your savings grow, you invest more, and when you invest more, you are able to build a much bigger wealth corpus. But before you build a wealth corpus, you need to first focus on the retirement corpus, because one day you're not going to be able to work, or you may not feel like working, or you may be too old to work in a formal capacity. So working may need to stop. When working stops, your earnings is going to stop. And when your earnings stop, you need to replace your earnings with a regular income from somewhere. That somewhere is your retirement corpus. So when you stop working, your retirement corpus should give you the same amount of money you need to run your life the way you did till the day you worked. So the SIP has a very big part in ensuring that this retirement corpus is built to the size it is necessary and essential. And also, depending on the way you do your SIP and grow your SIP, you suddenly discover that you have far more saving and investment potential than you anticipated. And the moment you discover that you have a far higher saving and investment potential than you thought, you are on to developing another additional corpus, which I call as the wealth corpus. That moment of realization is, in my opinion, the most important moment in the life of a salaried person. For most salaried people, that moment doesn't come. Why does it fail to come? It fails to come because they are not very self-aware even in building that retirement corpus. And the way in which they are managing their SIP as a mechanism to build that retirement corpus is inadequate and found wanting. When the way you manage an SIP is found to be inadequate and it is still wanting, then unless you are going to fill that gap, unless you are going to correct that inadequacy and be up to speed, you are not going to create a wealth corpus. You are going to struggle to even create the retirement corpus. This is my observation out of the thousands of people that I have seen. Now, when a SIP stops, what stops? That was the title I gave in the beginning of this video. The creation of a significant retirement corpus clearly stops. Then your retirement corpus assumes a process of randomness. You may buy some share, you may put some money in one startup, you may do all sorts of random things and hope that these things are going to give you the retirement corpus. In my assessment, retirement corpus should never be led to randomness. You can never be random about building a retirement corpus. That would be disastrous. But when I look at all these people on platforms building random portfolios with no character, no clarity, and doing it for the fun of doing it, I feel that they are losing focus. Clearly, they are losing focus. Most people, maybe a few do have focus, but most people lose focus. And their anchoring which ought to be to the retirement corpus which they need to create, gets distracted. They are all over the place, justifying all the randomness that they do and trying to justify the fact that they stopped something that would surely take them to their retirement corpus, and that would surely take them to their retirement corpus before they thought they would reach there. Now, such a solid thing is being stopped just to replace it with randomness. So, what stops when an SIP stops is the certainty of a retirement corpus getting built on time and often before time. That's the first thing that gets stopped. But there is another thing that gets stopped, which is even worse. The second thing that gets stopped is the building of a wealth corpus. You never get there, where you start thinking that, oh, I have got my retirement in place, now I can do more, let me do this, and start ideating a wealth corpus. Most people don't understand the difference between a retirement corpus and a wealth corpus. Let me explain. A retirement corpus will just take care of your monthly need, month after the month for the rest of your life, once you stop working. A wealth corpus is something you will never touch. It will keep growing and create an additional layer of financial security for you, which will give you a sense of fulfillment and achievement towards the end of your life. And most importantly, you can purpose your wealth corpus for your children. And you will not touch your retirement corpus because your children need something. Now, the statement I just made is far more powerful than the words that came out of it. Most people dip into their retirement corpus to meet the needs and exigencies of their children, which they have never planned for. When they do that, the quality of their retired life begins to go down. This is strictly avoidable. The wealth corpus, when purposed for these kind of exigencies, ring fences the retirement corpus of every single person. You're never going to touch this. You know, there is a very Indian phrase in capital called Mangal Sutra capital. People who are very sentimental say that they will never touch it because it's for lifetime. In my opinion, a retirement corpus is something like that. You can clearly compare it to that. So, this should never happen where you dip into your retirement corpus to meet the exigencies and the emergencies of your children. The wealth corpus, on the other hand, will take care of that. When an SIP stops, two things happen. One, the wealth corpus never gets built. Second, the chances are even the retirement corpus will be built to inadequate scale. It won't be sufficient. The SIP is the track on which your journey towards a retirement corpus goes very smoothly. You can accelerate that journey by doing a few things more, but the SIP is the track. And that track doesn't just take you to your retirement corpus. Once you reach the destination early, you say, I've got more time, now let me go further on the same track. And on the same track, you make this longer, more beautiful, scenic journey called wealth creation. When your SIP stops, your train to retirement and wealth creation gets derailed. And there is no kavach to protect you when you become random. This is something that I want all of you to think about. Feel free to post your comments and judgments in the comment section. Let's debate this topic in a way which is productive and purposeful. Thank you for watching this video.